Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. I am Junchan and today we are back working on some streaming tools related things. And apologies, I'm starting a little bit late. Right, so what we did last time was we gave a shot to the Twitch overlay development tools, installed Twitch's own thing and get to display something on screen actually from some pure script code. So that was nice to get to that point. I think what I want to try and do today is take the some of what we've been talking about, like streamlining, going from 4-hour Twitch stream to 10-minute YouTube video, but apply that to the fact that I've started streaming me gaming again with the early alpha release of Dyson Sphere program, and that's given me some new constraints for thinking about this particular problem, and I want to bring that in since it might actually create a really good opportunity to have a simpler minimum viable path. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping here by duplicating this to today and then picking our streaming tool and doing the same thing. Okay, so yeah, let me reframe. So one of the things that's clear, so when I streamed yesterday, I streamed like for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, and I found myself using the Twitch highlighter. Or highlight editor. To cut down my 3-hour stream into 5 20-minute streams. If it doesn't add up, it's all good. I think I streamed 2 hours, not that much. But let me bring it up on screen actually, because this is part of what we do here, right? Be a bit meta. So I've got it was just an hour 15 minutes, so yeah, that's what's going on. And then I had about 5 between 20 and 15 minutes stream or highlights come out of this. So this experience wasn't too problematic actually. I thought, in fact, this highlighter, it's okay to do that. Not the best, but okay. And then I was happy to also see that it's then possible to export. And so if we look at our YouTube content library, let me get into this. Where is it?
I got down to about 13.
Hey, Quirky Pixel is playing it because I was looking at her stuff. Okay. So this was exported, and then I did this thing where I scheduled. I realized that I forgot to export a bunch of stuff that I was going to. And welcome back to the stream. I am playing somewhere, and I need to find where that is. Saw some RimWorld, and was wondering what was going on with the lack of sound. Well, it's just me making that mistake again, and I'm sound setup is after a while, because this game seems to have some depth. But we are back, and well, looks like we have a raid as well. Yeah, that was me. I hope you could hear a little bit of that. That was me in the previous video, screwing up with sound. But we've actually removed the root cause for these problems with our new Twitch setup. Let me actually show it to you. It's evolved a bit since last time. What am I doing here? Alert box. Okay. Don't know what I was changing that. Basically now I have the Be Right Back and the buy screen don't have the microphone source into them. So instead of using the master sources, microphone and desktop audio, I think it usually is, I created sources that was from from some Reddit thread, I think. And that means that I can switch to Be Right Back and it will remove the microphone. And if I speak now, like, you can hear it. And I was actually speaking on the Be Right Back, but you can't hear it. And so that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. And I did the same for Bye and Starting Soon. And right. And then I started also creating scene-specific scenes that are specific to whether I'm sharing my screen when I'm coding or whether I'm sharing the game. And for game, I'm using the game source, which I'm usually using this full screen. I don't know if it makes a lot of difference, but I also created a Be Right Back and a Bye screen for that because I don't have the overlays at the bottom. So I could probably have a whole different, whatever that is called. I forget what the name of this is. Maybe that's a scene. Yeah, that's a scene actually. A scene collection, right. So I could have different scene collections, but for now, at least, this is sufficient. And I also did some experiments with other stuff, and at some point, I started also. I ordered a green screen, so soon you'll see my face as well and some lights. So I'm getting geared up on that end of things, and what else? Right, so there's this thing about, there's this underlying question, which we were also sort of pondering last time, which is, do we record locally? And I think that the answer has to be yes, because I actually looked at some of the, I can even show you this. Like my first video here, if we take a look and watch it, we'll see that just even at the very beginning, by building type of stuff, not the best, but I think it's just before we, around here, I think. Well, suppose it come from side. Is it? Or no, it's at the very, very beginning. We see streaming compression artifacts. And we're back to playing a bit. I've seen this. Check this out. See? Game. So that's unacceptable, right? If you're quality oriented or perfectionist, as it's often called. Or OCD or whatever, right? We can't have this. So that means that we're necessarily going to have this if we rely only on the Twitch recording, right? Because there can be lots of stuff going wrong in between my local setup and Twitch. So do we record locally? I think this is unavoidable, except if maybe SRT could be the alternative, or some so SRT might be reliable enough to allow us to do that, but otherwise we want to record locally, and we want to sort of, how would you say it, we want to it's not upload, it's kind of how do you call it, it's offload. Offload progressively. And what I mean by that is that, I don't want to have to manage my my local computer's disk space. I want, if I record locally, then I want the pixel accurate recording to be offloaded progressively to some online spot. Something we've called our relay server before, which would have the proper capacity for that, and that's how I'm thinking about this. I heard some compression artifacts. I think probably my mic is a bit too hot. So let me go and tweak the compressor. It didn't sound like digital compression. It sounded like my analog compressor being too hot. I'm not that. Oh well, okay. It's not bad, right? I think I do have a little bit of overhead. Check one. Could be better. We're supposed to have a compressor on this, but it could be that actually I haven't put it back since I've changed the output. That's right, I didn't. Okay, so I did have a compressor, and I'm going to leave it with the default setup. Check 1, 2. I don't think it displays at the end, and we don't really have a master output here, so it's hard to say what you guys are hearing, but you know, that's part of, let's say, I mean, something maybe with OBS Studio would have a better shot at it. Not sure. The other thing is multi-track, right? And this I spoke about before. It's just the fact that, you know, we need the raw screen source. As well as the raw audio source, you know, microphone source. Meaning, you know, without the overlays, and this meaning without the music. If we want to reuse this into YouTube videos, then we need to have control over this. What else did I notice? I noticed that, well, first of all, I streamed the, let's look at the Twitch highlight editor. We can't pick back the highlights. New highlight from another broadcast. What? Hold on. So hold on. What's going on here then? If I say highlight from another broadcast, but here it stays Dyson Sphere program. It's just this is now a different thing, and I can preview things, but this is strange. I'm not sure. What does this say? Highlight Q. Okay, so now I'm in streaming tools. Okay, the reason why I'm interested in this, I don't know what this is doing exactly, but it's because I realized last time, or well, it was just yesterday, right, that I streamed, that there was something fairly simple, like a simple workflow, that is actually not doable with the basic tools. Basic workflow. And that is to just add an intro and maybe add an outro. Apparently it used to be that the YouTube editor allowed to do this, but now the YouTube editor is just like a really super bare bones thing that doesn't allow to do this. So if I go into the editor, we see we have multi-track, but we can't even layer out new audio. If we add an audio track here, we can only get audio from music, and not just even our music. I don't think we can even upload our own stuff. This is all YouTube sourced stuff that we can't upload onto it. So this is just strange. I mean, I think it must be a commercially motivated restriction here, whatever it is. And the editor, maybe, you know, it was too hard to maintain because I guess it was more featureful, and so probably a bigger piece of software. But this is quite limited. And so that's why I was kind of like, oh, hey, maybe Twitch allows to do some stuff, but you know, no. If we publish those highlights, there'll be separate highlights. So I think it's just to add more highlights from like a doc, and then from different in case you just want to do, you know, many highlights from your past videos or whatever. So this adding an intro and adding an outro workflow, and of course by that I mean, well, in fact, I mean intro and outro, but I mean like some kind of templated credits and some kind of voiceover. Because the fact that yesterday I only cut my 5 episodes as an afterthought, meant that really doing a voiceover would be needed to make those actually sort of somewhat professional in terms of the output. Because right now I'm cutting sort of, you know, when I'm in between, like when I'm making an actual pause in my commentary. But that obviously would want to say, you know, hi, welcome to Dyson Sphere program. I'm Junchan, and today we're continuing with blah, right? And then same thing for the outro, you know. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, something like that. All right. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow with more Dyson Sphere program. Ciao. I don't know, I've never said ciao at the end of a stream, but hey, why not, right? Okay. So that would be nice to it would be nice to record something, right? And what do I mean by templated credit? Well, I mean, like, there's a few things like they don't have to be, right? That's actually fairly rare that it is. What's really usually templated is the thumbnail. That is very regularly templated, and that will include like you know, the number of the episode. Like the series title, and then sometimes some kind of episode related, some kind of episode hook, and the actual thumbnail. And those are, you know, important in YouTube. How would you say it? Popularity, good practices, or whatever, right? Like the good YouTubers do this. Whether credits need to be templated or not, that's much more rare. To be honest, usually really isn't, right? It's just like the channel sort of credit intro usually, right? That's like a little animation, and then you'll go straight into the voiceover. And to be honest, I like these to be short when I watch YouTube videos. And then usually what you find is also like for, again, like YouTube, good practice for getting viewers or what everybody is supposed to do kind of thing. And I just hate it just by saying that. I'm like, I don't want to do it. It's like, you know, like and subscribe, whatever, right? Like people don't know. But usually there's a little icon or something, right? Like a little animation that comes into like you know, 10 seconds into the stream while the intro is playing or the voiceover is playing or whatever. Okay. So that's the what I would call basic workflow, like, right? There could be much more advanced stuff, but that's it. And I suppose that actually this is all of it, right? It's like the intro, voiceover, then is intro and outro, right? Then some maybe animation, and then the thumbnail template, right? Okay. So with the Twitch highlight editor, you can get some of the raw footage that's going to be the basis for that, right? And but one thing that you can't do is really do good cuts. Like the we're going to call it the highlighted source. That might need some further work, like some cuts. Like you can do trimming, but you know, it's really not super good, like the interface for that. I mean, we've done it a little bit last time, and like the fact that you can't zoom in properly, for instance, like that you have, oh, is that more than before? It might be. I think there are more zoom levels than there used to be. Okay, well, that's good, because it's ridiculous that they wouldn't be. So maybe trimming will actually be possibly okay-ish. But who knows, we might need to retrim. And then that's mostly it, right? That's mostly it. Well, yeah, and you know, we want this to be sort of marker aware, and that's something that, you know, there would be a benefit of using the highlight editor, is that if we did put some markers, then they would appear here. But the problem is that we can't do cuts here. I mean, we can split, but we can't remerge something that's been split. So that's the main problem here, is no merge. And the fact that we don't have that simple thing means that we're kind of, well, no merge nor imports, right? No import. So no import means that we can't add voiceover or, you know, credit intros or whatever. No merge means that even if we imported them, we couldn't just append them. And then if we wanted to split several things and have cuts inside, we couldn't even merge them. So we're blocked here, and the YouTube editor is just like really super bare bones, so we don't have anything. Okay, so I did look at a few things. There's like Capwing, that seems to be one of the main things out there. I mean, there's lots of new contenders, and I don't know the ecosystem well at all right now. So this seems like it could do the trick. Definitely able to do a lot with that. But of course, you know, it's not open source. What it seemed to be the case for YouTube specifically is that you would need to download the video and then post it on YouTube. So yeah, that's something that I want to avoid. Ideally, I'd want, you know, so yeah, that gets me more into sort of like requirements again. I mean, we've done this several times already in this streaming tool thing. We're piling the requirements. But so if we record it locally, then somehow we want that. The reason why we do that is to avoid any glitches that would be network related. the reason why I have SRT up there is that I think that this might be the professional transmission protocol that actually would avoid doing that. But this might actually be simpler and maybe more reliable as well. So what would be the requirements? And I suppose we could also we could say tell it in form of a story, right? So if the highlight editor is actually not super satisfying, I mean, the advantage of it is the fact that the highlights are there going to be available on Twitch as highlights, which to be honest, I don't even know whether they get displayed on my channel or how. Let's go check out my channel. Okay, I get this panel, and I think I can add the panel. I can add the panel. Maybe is that a highlight? Is a panel? Maybe add a text on image panel, an extension panel. Nah, that's pretty much it. So I don't know if I'm seeing something different because I'm logged in. So let's go for the incognito experience. And we do get this and this log, which I should probably update given that I've changed my streaming hours. But it looks like that's pretty much it. It must be because I'm live actually that things are a little bit different. I think so, because I think if you go to some other, oh well, these people are live. Edit. Okay, well, first of all, let's update the log. Yeah, I mean, it's all a bit ugly. Okay, well, it's edited, but yeah, I think I can't see what normally you could. Ah, right. Okay. That's the proper channel. Okay, so let's mute. What was the difference? No idea. It must be if I click this. Ah, yeah, okay, I see. Huh. Okay, Dyson Spheres program doesn't have an icon yet. Okay, so yeah, that's right. The highlights are here. So I guess that must be somewhat useful for people browsing. So that's an advantage of using the Twitch highlighter. But I think, you know, one thing that would be possible is that if we could export back to Twitch as highlights, that would be fairly advanced. I doubt the API supports this. Let me be a little bit. Let's go and clean up our tabs here. Yeah, I call that cleaning up. Opening 10 more. Okay. Right, Twitch API. Highlights. Highlight creation API. That's a question. Twitch do have Clips API, but nothing to True Highlights. That's from 2018. Create clip. Get clip. Let's look at. Oof, holy moly. Oh, I see that you're. I'm going to. Right. Get 125. That seems to be okay. Let me reload. Okay, that's very strange. Yeah, they don't have their responsiveness working very well. Okay. So we're at version 5 of the API, and we have highlights in there, the stream markers, so that I think we've seen like a while back. Video broadcasts. Yeah, that's just the RTMP endpoint. And if we search for highlights, type highlight, we can delete. Is that it? Really? Wow. Oh, that's why, because you have example request and response on the side. Okay, that's cool. That is a good practice, but so does this mean we can? I don't think it means we can create a highlight. Let's see. That's a response. Get video. So we can probably get the highlight, which is going to be, yeah, maybe what we want. I mean, I suppose we could do rough cuts in there. But we wouldn't be able to export it back as highlights on Twitch. But to be honest, I think most users of Twitch probably don't care. I think they wouldn't mind at all going, you know, just following what's happening live and then going to YouTube for highlights. Hey Juan, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, you who has Twitch wisdom, do you think highlights are making any kind of sense in Twitch? I mean, do you use them? Like, do you ever go to the recent highlights for a streamer you like and check out their highlights? Right, exactly. That's what I thought. Yeah, so probably we don't really care about exporting back as highlight. So I think, yeah, did you see I started streaming a Dyson Sphere program yesterday? And that got me into some thoughts about making some of my crazy ideas on streaming tools a little bit more easy, because doing the kind of stuff that I want to do with coding streams is actually pretty advanced, whereas maybe there's simpler things to do with just cutting Dyson's gameplay. Oh, cool. All right, so let's see what the story would be. So as I stream, I think I would have a timer. During the stream. And that would be like a 20 to 25 minute timer. To references The highlight thing, you mean? That people would get it and some people won't? Do you mean like references as in software engineering? Okay. I think you mean that that's what highlights are. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I'm most interested in, I understand the concepts. What I'm more interested in is if people just use them at all. But to me, it makes sense that they wouldn't and that they. Okay, right. Yeah, you totally lost me there. Like, it seems like you're referring to references and like circular references. Oh. So, right. So during the stream, I think this timer would help to figure out like natural cutting points. And so, you know, I would imagine that my Stream Deck would sort of blink at me. Many things are called references. That's true. That my Stream Deck would blink at me, not make any noise, but just give me some visual feedback that would allow me to then put in a natural cut. And then, oh yeah, then I would put in what I would call a natural cut. And I think, and I've been thinking about that, and I've seen YouTube videos where folks say things like, okay, I'm going to put a cut in here, and I'll see you in the next episode. And I think that doing this on stream is actually probably fine. Okay, and some say even I'm going to put a cut in here for YouTube. Some say it specifically, which I kind of like. It's like a very transparent way to say it. Yeah, it could be. I think it's all about whether that Stream Deck is in my visual range. But I think I can make it do like blinking in a way that that will help me see it. But there is this idea of just having like streamer overlays, right? Instead of so things that come up on screen in front of me, but that you all couldn't see, for instance. That might be a more sustainable way to do this. So put in, what I would call a natural cut of, waiting a few minutes to find some place during the gaming where it'd be like, okay, now that that's done, it makes sense to put in a cut and then possibly announcing it. And so in that case, I think using a marker actually makes a lot of sense. And so then it would be visible in the highlights, but also we could just export them. If we use the Twitch API, we could just get the markers as well. Good. Okay, and let's see. So there's probably more things that need to be done during the stream, but if it's only that, then that'd be super cool. And though after the stream, what would I like to happen? I would like that the whole video that I recorded locally would have been offloaded progressively. So I'm going to write this down here again. Local recording gets progressively uploaded to Relay server. And you know, again, like it's possible that we actually do SRT to the Relay server, and that therefore we do the high quality recording on the internet already, but it depends on how reliable this protocol really is. But again, this is used by TV broadcaster between a camera and a digital recorder, so it's meant to be really reliable, but fairly low latency as well. Okay, so that means that after the stream, then what I would like is to go to a web interface rather than a local, editor like Premiere or Final Cut or whatever. And so that means a web video cutting. I guess we can call it editing, right? What would I do there? I would do so ideally, you know, it would pick up the title automatically, right, from the Twitch API. Get the title, get the markers. Then it would kind of like auto number the episode based on like a template, you know, like series and episode number. Like, you know, Dyson Sphere program, number 2, da-da-da. And sort of pre-cut. Well, I guess the pre-cut would be here. Pre-cut according to markers. So it means that we would have several types of markers, right? Would have cut markers, and we'd have like how do you call it, like the stream, like what I've been calling Streamoji markers, right? Like something to highlight any or some kind of moment. So let's call them Streamoji markers. Okay, right, and so let me remind myself. I think markers, well, actually I think I have this right now, so I can hit it. Okay, just hit it, and then let's see, it will go into the video producer. Yeah, leave that. And streaming tools, and we see my marker, and it's just me. Okay, let's bring up the Stream Deck thing, see if it's possible to actually change the marker settings. So that's the marker. You can put a title and an account, but looks like there's at least only one type here. Let's see if in the API if there's actually more types. Actually, you can create stream markers directly from the API, and the user ID. So there's a description. That's it. It's an optional body parameter. So we could use that for, you know, we could use the description as something where we actually call it cut or whatever, right? Actually, we could even maybe auto number it. Auto number. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the stream. Okay, sorry about this. And today we yeah, so we could actually have descriptions in there, and auto numbering and whatnot. And same here, like a type for the body payload or the description payload, marker. Description payload. Okay, in description payload here, so then we could use the cut markers to auto number, and then we could use the Streamoji markers to just orient ourselves, I suppose. yeah, because my intuition is that if we have a good set of like 2 or 3 things here, and some of our ideas were like, yeah, look at me, I'm Mr. Me6, where it's just look at me, I'm great kind of thing, right? Or like a warm fuzzy feeling if something works well, or like proper happiness or joy or confusion, or like, you know, oh man, that like I'm grinding kind of thing. Like detective work is also like grinding. Like all of these emotions, we will remember them, I think, and that means that for indexing and later editing, it will be actually super useful. So meaning here we'll display Streamoji markers to facilitate recall. Okay. And so those are some of the things that would be done kind of automatically, I suppose. But then what would we do manually? We'd need to well, no, actually, automatically, it would also insert the intro credits, create the thumbnail, and yeah, intro and outro. Right, so we need to do like maybe voiceover. And voiceover might be optional, to be honest, because if we do, I mean, it might be useful if we forget or something, or if we didn't do that, the putting of the natural cuts. But if we did natural cuts, like, okay, I'm going to put a cut in for YouTube or something, and then we intro after the cut. Yeah, actually, that's the second part of the natural cut. So it's there's an outro narration followed by an intro narration. Like, and we're back, playing blah, right? Can be short. If we have these cuts, if we do outro, marker, and then intro, then we might not even have any work to do manually in VoiceOver. But the truth is, it depends on the quality we want. But with this, we already have pretty high quality. Then we'll do like things like trimming and cutting, you know, of the boring parts or something like that. And that might require also additional VoiceOver, right? So we'll put them in that order. And then what? That's pretty much it, right? I mean, if we did that, that'd be already like such an improvement on any gamer's workflow. I mean, certainly on mine, but I would think that if I make this into a proper product, it would actually probably sell. Okay. So some of the difficult things are this, for instance, like the progressive upload, offload, and the setting up of the relay server, and then of course like the web video editing. That's also completely non-trivial, but I did some research on that. I don't have anything handy, but we'll do some more research. I'm just trying to see what is worth digging in now. There's something that I like also about this, is that if this gets progressively uploaded, then actually it can be collaborative. Like some other people can start working on cleaning things up and checking the markers and doing the trimming and the cutting and point out, hey, you need to voice over here. And yeah, there's the bit about doing the templating, like what format the templates are going to be in. So let's look at technical questions. Right, so the first one is how do we wait a minute, what protocol do we use to offload? And I think that also means what container format we use for recording. And I think what we saw last time is that if we use MKV, we should be able to do to jump into the middle, or to not have to wait for the container to be closed in order to start playing things. So it seems like that's one of the good formats for that, and one of the one that's going to be also fairly supported. It could be that, you know, there's a new fancy format, but then we'd have to struggle to find implementations. Although because of the type of thing that I'm planning to use, it, you know, it could be that there's a better format. Is there better? We can do a little bit of research. Protocol for offloading. So here, like it could be actually something like BitTorrent, to be honest, right? Yeah, anything like kind of P2P, because then we can you know, maybe multiplex, like if there's several boxes that maybe some of them are in my house that are better connected, then they can swarm and sort of optimize how they send out and whatever. So this this also means that if I have several boxes in the internet that are swarming, and that others want to because one thing with this, the video editing, is that I think maybe we do a trick from the NLE book, which is maybe we'll have low resolution proxies available, so that we start streaming, you know, like 360p versions, like really fast, so that it's possible to start editing on those low-level proxies, but then simultaneously, like the 4K recording, for instance, local 4K recording gets done, and then that gets sent later on, but with and then replace the low-resolution proxies. That's really the most elegant way to do this. So then, does this mean that we do multi-resolution recording in that case? And how does that work? Like low-res proxies plus 4K, right? Like let's lower, like I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but we could say something like 360p, could even be less. And then we also want to do multi-track, right? Because of the overlays and the music, and we want to separate all that. Then we offload all of these things with some priority rules. To be honest, what we're looking at is markers that are on Twitch, but rapidly is going to make sense to also have in fact have our master markers locally and be more semantically rich. And then we just also output them to as Twitch markers, possibly, if we even want to use them. Because obviously those semantically rich markers can also be used for chapters on YouTube videos. It's possible to do chapters these days. Haven't tried this, but I've seen that actually it's supposed to be that if you do something like 00.00 intro and let's say whatever, what do we have? Test, and I think we need 3. Let's say test 2, and then let's say 20 send off. Bye. If I save this, And if you're on YouTube, showing the energy from it does make them linkable, and it shows up as chapters here, which is pretty super awesome. And so if we have those markers locally, then we can just export them to YouTube, and that's that would be super cool. Okay, so low resolution proxies, and then so now then we have all of these things available. Then I mean the real question is what is our editing engine like? Video editing engine. And some of the things is like the asset store. What's the asset store like? And then the UI, of course, and then like we're going to need like some kind of uploader agents of sorts, right? Okay. Let's read through some of our other stuff, see if I'm forgetting something here. Right. So if we wanted to do some machine learning, then where would it happen? Locally would be the easy answer, right? But if we have this progressive upload, then it's possible to offload this to a server. And if it's actually pretty fast with like low res proxies, you know, high res enough to do machine learning classification on video, then those can actually happen with pretty low latency. When we're talking about the face tracking stuff, though, yeah, that probably needs to be done pre-sending. That needs to add to the total latency. So there's something like that, I think. There's a kind of a separation here with like a bit like the concept of an insert in audio effects, like face tracking, for instance. I think that needs to be an insert, because if we want the data stream to be completely synchronized to the video, then we'll have minimum latency if this is actually calculated locally. I mean, okay, this raises the other important thing is like, what format do we use for time coding? Because that's going to be essential, especially if we have multiple streams, then we'll want something rock solid for time coding and sync of all of these different channels. Let's see, GStreamer timecode formats. I know I want GStreamer already for the kind of editing, streaming part of things. AV await drops all audio video until a specific time code or running time has been reached. Oh, AV wait. I see. Attaches a time code meta to each video frame. I think this is done naturally by some of the default pipelines. attaches a timecode into every incoming video frame. It starts counting from the stream time of each segment start, which is converted into a timecode. LTC sync source auto resync. If true, resync last known timecode from upstream. Otherwise, only count up from the last known one. Drop frame timecodes. Okay, so I like to see this because those are the professional timecode. Yeah, one. That's a great idea. I actually was totally in the zone there and completely forgot that I had a body. Thank you. I'll be right back. I'll take a quick break here, and this is my normal be right back. All right, and I'm back. So let's think prototype. First of all, I think there's really no choice. I need to switch to OBS Studio because I'm not gonna have I won't be able to do multi-track export from OBS, from Streamlabs OBS. I need to even check whether I can do such thing. Well, actually, don't I have OBS Studio installed here? I do. So let's fire it up and look at it a little bit. Not the latest version. Actually, I have version 25.01, which I downloaded a while back. So I think I will update. Yeah, what I was saying before the break is that these FPS here, those are professional broadcast time code frame per second. And so obviously GStreamer is really, you know, that's the type of stuff that if you do like a video server on a plane or something, yeah, you use something like GStreamer for that. Or on a car. Okay, LTC time code. So LTC seems to be really the keyword here. So LTC time code, let's learn a bit about this. Linear time code. SMPT time code. That's the SMPT is actually I think the name of the Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineer. And when was this created? 1916. Oh yeah. So LTC is an encoding of SMTP timecode data in an audio signal. Okay, I see. The audio signal is currently recorded on a VTR track. I see. So does this put this into a separate timecode, or maybe this is the digital version of LTC? Burnt-in, MIDI. Oh, that's the encoding in an audio wave. So like a half duration, and then 4, and then 1, and then 4, and then tons of... Avoid percussive sounds close to the LTC. All right. Yeah, that's old school. But it makes sense. It's like a metadata channel, a way to try and do something that won't be heard in the audio channel and won't create cross chatter with the audio channel, but allows hardware to synchronize. Yeah, my week was good. It's pretty intense at work, but yeah, you've seen that I decided to start streaming a little bit less, 3 times a week instead of 6 times a week, which was pretty intense for like now almost 2 months. So so that's nice. It means that I can, you know, like I can breathe a little bit one night over 2 in the week, and given that my my weekdays are pretty intense with work, it's nice to have this capacity to have a break. Yeah, you know, I might ramp it up. You know, at some point my day job will go to being part-time. So that would be nice. Have you started a few times a week? Have you started streaming again? A year, right. Okay. So I suppose you haven't streamed yet this year. All right, all right. And how about you? How was your week? Good enough. Is university keeping you super busy? Okay, looks like the OBS updater actually crashed. So I suppose let's retry. Let's be optimistic and think maybe it will work second time. This is Windows after all, so sometimes things are completely random. Yeah, it says waiting for OBS to exit. So it could be that maybe it wants to update something that it's shared with Streamlabs, and so okay, I'm not gonna update it. It's probably going to be fine. Oh, that's you're doing a little intermittent fasting, as it's called sometimes. I hear it's really good for health. Is that why you're doing it? Okay, let me get OBS Studio up. Say remind me later and get this on screen so that is not the same screen. Oh, I see. You know, today I spent some time getting some nutritional supplements and got some protein and some multivitamin and magnesium because I'm running out of my. I completely ran out of my magnesium, and that's quite that's been quite nice to have. Do you take any of these things? Right, so these were different attempts with different things. Browse. Okay. Let's just, do we have scene collections here? We do. So let's create a new scene collection and call it like streaming tools. Oh, weekly. Yeah, I'm also running out of my multivitamin, but I still take it daily. And the new ones I got, I'm going to also do daily. All right, let's see. What am I going to capture here? Can I capture two displays? It looks like probably I can. Yeah, I can. I can have OBS Studio capturing a display and Streamlabs OBS also capturing a display, and it seems like all is good. There's a double capture going on there. If you like Inception, then here you go. All right. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. Our body definitely does not make all of the things that it needs. It's good to supplement some intake, especially in the winter. How's the weather down south where you are? Here it's still covered in snow. It snowed all night, and it was very Christmassy in the morning, and there's still a couple of inches of snow outside. Define perfect for you. Is it like? Well, you're gonna tell me in Fahrenheit, and I don't know Fahrenheit. I'm gonna need to convert it. Is it 23 Celsius? Oh, you like rain. Nice. Yeah, 23. That's really good temperature. Yeah. Imperial. Okay. So, all right. So we have a display here. Let's create like some kind of overlay thingy, like maybe with text. Like, hello, I'm an overlay. Yeah, a giant overlay apparently. Size. Is it in the font itself? It is in the font itself. Okay, 36. Yeah, that's a more modest overlay. Right. Oh yeah, that's because I would like to probably fit to screen to see something that makes sense. yeah. Who needs someone to talk, right? Like just put an AI in there. Oh boy. Let's see. So we have, we have an overlay. You know what? I kind of want it a little bit bigger. You know, like because we're testing things, so it'll be easier to see. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and so then the question becomes, if I go into my settings somewhere, settings. Hold on, there was something that seemed interesting here. Show recordings, Remux recordings. Huh, interesting. Yeah, let's go to settings. GPT-3 and voice modulation and copying. Yeah, exactly right. No, you know what? So maybe on day 283.5, there'll be. I have a virtual assistant. I have an online AI that can help me program stuff, and like entertains me while I'm if I'm a little bit down, and and like helps me in my programming. And then on day 567 she takes over. I think that's the way we'll go. Okay, recording. Yeah, exactly. So custom output to URL portal. Yeah. How is this called? What is the company called already? That stuff is so hilarious. Okay, well, it looks like my hopes are being dashed here, and there is no setup for multi-track outputs. I mean, basically, it looks pretty much like the output for Streamlabs OBS. So it could be just that it's possible, but I need to dig a little bit deeper. Aperture lavatories, that's right. Yeah. I also have a VR setup, and some of the Steam VR like goodies that you have there, they have like plenty of Aperture Labs inspired stuff. Yeah, I remember you saying that, and I think I didn't say that I did too at that point, but I do. And yeah, I'll probably do stuff on VR at some point on stream as well. But I'm already doing too many things, right? So let's do it little by little. Okay, so I think, what I'm thinking is maybe projectors might be a thing that allows to do recording, but I might be wrong. Can add things. There's an audio mixer. There's advanced audio properties. Oh yeah, that's the other button for settings. Let's see, advanced. Is there something in there? Recording, file names, Remux to MP4. How about the settings here? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be definitely cool. I've been looking quite a lot into text to speech, and yeah, the state of the art in that is very impressive. Yeah, if you want, I can actually do a little regression on this if you're interested in the topic. The TTS, ESPNet, TTS samples. So that's the It's one of the possibilities. TTS. Ah, that's the one. ESP. Yeah, here. Tacotron V2. Hold on to your papers, as 2 Minute Papers says. Oh, are you just listening right now? Hey man, it's Saturday. Give yourself a break. It's okay to, just chill in bed for a bit. Especially after a good enough week, You can totally take it easy. And the good thing is that what I'm going to show you can be heard, so you don't have to get out of bed. I'm actually going to pause the music, and then I'm going to make you listen to a sample that is synthesized speech. So hold on. Okay, you're watching. Good. Check this out.
That is reflected in definite and comprehensive operating procedures.
Can you hear that? So being able to type them is, for that you need to use this. There's a Collab Research notebook that uses this. Yeah, did you hear that? It's amazing, right? Hold on, I make you listen to more.
That the Secret Service consciously set about the task of inculcating and maintaining the highest standard of excellence and esprit for all of its personnel.
Yep. Yeah, state of the art. It's crazy. And so that's a demo. I think they've updated it pretty big here. So I'm not sure whether this has all of the latest stuff. Yeah, this stuff is usually super bleeding edge, so not everything works. And yeah, that my experience in setting up the software for this is that it takes a while until you find the sweet spot. But yeah, I can put this into the chat, and you can check it out. That's Tacotron 2. That's that's state of the art in research as of 2020 still. This is from 2019, but I think the V3 stuff, this is more recent. No, actually, this is still end of 2019. But yeah, in this world, it's pretty recent. I mean, there might be some stuff that's being published now that actually is better. It's very possible. And yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's Tacotron V2. Yeah.
The Commission emphasizes that it finds no causal connection between the assassination.
Yeah, the intonation stuff is just crazy. All right, so that's what my assistant will be in 283 days and a half. Maybe not at scale, but pretty close to it. I think it's possible. It's all a matter of effort, and I would say as well of how would you call it, staying power. But I've done quite a lot on this. Like, I spent quite a lot of man hours trying to get something working, and I've had to jump through hoops. Like the thing that blocked me is the fact that my computer is too old, and so my CPU doesn't have AVX instructions, and so some of the more recent TensorFlow and even PyTorch infrastructure didn't work quite well on my computer. But I'm gonna buy a new computer very soon. So yeah, well, yeah, staying power could be actually spelled like this, although I didn't mean staying power, like the capacity for oneself to stay focused on one thing until the end of until success, basically, right? Okay. So yeah, it'll be fun. But look, the fun thing is that I think there's opportunities to do things that are actually not as groundbreaking as AI-driven assistant and text-to-speech, but just like cutting down the time that it takes to output a gaming video and making it like super easy, and that could save a lot of time for a lot of people. And so yeah, whereas the whole digital assistant thing, it's a bit more perspective, the actual usefulness, and GPT-3 is not smart. GPT-3 is like a parrot that won't come up with anything new. It can be entertaining for a little bit, but definitely not as entertaining as a human. If you knew a human that was a bit like had GPT-3 intelligence, after a while you'd be a little bit, you'll find them a little bit strange, let's say. I don't know if you'd want to hang out with them all the time. Help with parts. Oh, yeah, I can show you what I was looking at actually. It is something on Amazon, and it was a Ryzen 9 with an RTX 2060. Let's see. So I didn't even want to waste time buying one. Buying one. Yeah, I want to buy one. I didn't want to assemble one just so that I, gain some time. Yeah, exactly. Why is it showing me laptops? It seems like there must be a... With an RTX, wow, there's RTX 2060 in laptops these days. I had no clue. Is it the 5900 or something? There we go. Yeah, it was something like... I think it was that same company that we saw in the first screen. I think this one, I think. Right. It was one of these. Not the Core. It wasn't exactly any of these though. But something a little bit like this. Oh wow, that's pretty cheap actually. Oh, but that's a Ryzen 5. Right, yeah, imagine. Huh. I'm surprised that it actually fits. But I was a little bit surprised by the fact that the price, I think it came down to like a bit around 2,000 euros for pretty hefty Ryzen 9 and this RTX. This one is much cheaper, but you had a beefy SSD, I think, but it's not. Hold on, I think I was looking at it on my phone, so I must have it somewhere on my phone. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, that guy. No, not that guy. Yeah, it looks like maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, DCL 24. That's the people. DCL 24. I probably won't because I'll probably just keep it as it is. I don't know if I'll image it. Imaging the Windows partition might help. Yeah, to get set up fast. But okay, let's see. How come I'm not getting the same thing that I get on my phone? I don't understand. This is the name of a seller. If I look directly for the seller, it's not coming up. What the hell? It's because it's on Amazon DE. I see. Okay. Yeah, so it was something like this. This actually is reconfigurable, and I wanted the yeah, DCL TE Ryzen 9 and RTX 2060. I believe that's the one. Right, and I think if you pick that one, then you could pick up the Ryzen 9 39,000 and then RTX. Yeah, I think that's the one I was looking at, I think. Yeah, it actually is really reasonable. So see, that's with the Ryzen 9 39,000X with the 12 cores, 4.6 gigahertz, pretty good. Has only 4 gigabytes. No, that must be the cache. I mean, it has to be the cache, right? I mean, those are reconfigurable, I think, as well. RAM is only 16 gigs, so I would want to probably have a bit more RAM. Yeah, only 240 gig SSD. That I think I had one that was a little bit bigger. This one seems like it went up to 1.9K. Let's see if we can find that one. Must be closer to this, I suppose. Right, so it's also possible to take the 3950, but I think that's overkill. So here, that's with with the RTX 2060, 32 gig of RAM, 400 gigabyte SSD, and 2 terabyte HDD. I think that's a pretty good combo. What do you think? That's the one I was looking at. Yeah, totally agree. Let's so it's 32 gig RAM, and I think let's see what speed is DDR4 SDRAM. I think DDR4 is 3.2 megahertz, right? Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it is 32,000 megahertz dual channel. You mean move my hard drive into it? Yeah, I can always do that, but my hard drive, I mean, first of all, I have 4 in my current desktop. Yeah, I have, that's pretty much also what I have, but it's split into several drives, and plus I have, I have a triple boot on this old Mac. I have one of these early 2008 Mac Pro. It's called the 3.1. One of these guys, super old. Let's find a picture for you. One of these guys. I mean, I still think it's a beauty. Actually, it's really awesome. But now I have a Titan XP in it, like a pretty good GPU. But it's old Xeon processors, and you can't really upgrade the motherboard, and you can't really put also new modern motherboards in it without redoing the whole interior. And I don't want to waste my time doing that. I'd rather program. Hardware is not my addiction. Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, you think well, I don't know. Yeah. I haven't followed what the prices of these are going, but what do you think of these perfs, like the Ryzen 9 3900? That's pretty good, right? 12 cores, and also 3.9, which can overclock at 4.6 gig, and I think that's pretty damn good. And right, and the RTX 2060, obviously I'd prefer like a 2080 or something, but I think I wanted the RTX for just because, you know, that's the latest and greatest. And since I'm doing also some GPU programming elsewhere, I want to try and see what that's like doing RTX programming. And also there's this thing, the NVIDIA Broadcast app. Right, right. Just wanted to check whether actually the 2060 will work with this. Have you seen this? That's the auto background cutter, plus auto framing and virtual background with RTX. That stuff's pretty good. Yeah, they do. Yeah. So I think I'll probably start with this because I don't need to go too crazy on and I kind of like this price, like under 2,000 euros. That's actually pretty good, and I think I can do already quite a lot with it. And I don't need to go overboard with my GPU quite yet, and I can always buy one later. Yeah, you're right. It might be worth sending them this spec and see what they can come up with. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. What time is it? 5:18. We thought about time code. I think I'd like to do a little bit of coding before or at least like setting something up before I call it off for today. I'll take a tiny break and I'll be back and I'll do another maybe half hour. Yeah, exactly. Be right back. Okay, and I'm back. So let's see, we were looking at OBS and how we can do some multi-track export. And the reasoning behind that is that I'm happy to stream with my overlays, but I'd like to record without it. So how do I do that? Well, I search in Google. That's how I do it. OBS Studio, record without overlays, something like that. Or how to record without overlays while streaming. There's a YouTube video for it.
Alright guys, I have here a quick OBS tutorial that actually answers a lot of questions that some of you may have about streaming and recording at the same time without showing your overlays. This is a question I receive so often and I don't really have an answer to.
You don't really have an answer to?
Until now.
Until now, okay.
This video is brought to you by me and my new YouTube Hard Truths podcast. Want to start your own YouTube channel? Want to make it big as a content creator? Well,
Blah, blah, blah.
for the most part. And I have it installed with the NDI plugin. You may be rolling your eyes.
Oh,
But yes, this is actually the solution to
Is
your
it?
problem, as actually created by Elgato in their Streamlink version feature of their 4K capture utility. But you don't need an Elgato for this. This will work with Streamlabs OBS, normal OBS, whether you're using a capture card or not. NDI output settings here. You see I have it off right now. Here I have crafted a
I
quick
see.
generic super rushed Twitch layout, and I have a quick follow alert thrown on here, PS4 capture, webcam, you know, a normal stream capture. Now you could stream and record this, but everything in your recording is going to have those overlays, and it's going to have all of your other stream elements. So there's a couple things you could do here. First and foremost, you could, you need to decide if you want to have basically a live commentary, kind of everything that you see on stream except for a couple overlays in the pop-up alerts, or if you just want your, like, say, gameplay captured. If you just want your gameplay captured, you'll want to go to the video capture device or game capture, you know, whatever source your actual gameplay is coming from. Right-click it, go to filters, add audio
I
video
see.
filter. Actually, no, it's under effect filter. Dedicated NDI output. Because if you do audio video filter, it'll be audio only. But dedicated NDI output, and then you can give it a name. Gameplay only. Now this will send an NDI stream from your computer or within your computer of just your gameplay scene here. You can see here in this preview, it is only the gameplay window, not my webcam, and not if I test the follow alert. That doesn't pop up on here. So
Yeah.
you can just get your gameplay. Alternatively, and then you can use your normal OBS as is to live stream, and you can continue to later in the tutorial where I'll show you how to capture just this. Alternatively,
Yeah,
you can
okay.
set up a primary.
Oh
basically
boy.
set up everything.
This format is, it's a tutorial. And I'm testing, learning about this by watching a YouTube video, and it's a bit long, huh? I think it would be easier just reading it, but yeah. Let's see.
Streamlabs OBS to do.
Okay, when is he gonna speak
We
about
have an
how
option.
to you
So
record
here
it?
in Streamlabs OBS, we will now make a new scene. We'll call this Twitch feed. I'm gonna go ahead and add a widget. You know, you add whatever overlays you would normally use
Yes.
pop up.
Okay.
if-
Okay. Like,
I'll just add my Intel logo. I used that in a stream not too long ago. So, record. So then you would want to go to Profile,
okay.
duplicate, recording Twitch profile, and you want to set up this profile with higher quality recording settings that's dedicated for recording, because you will be recording in this instance. And again, this can be multiple instances of Streamlabs OBS or normal OBS. You're recording here. So you set up this profile for recording, and then you go to Tools, NDI output settings, main output, hit OK, and you are now outputting via NDI right here.
Okay.
So then in your version of OBS that you will be
Oh.
streaming from, you now add that as a NDI source. So new source, NDI source, add it,
Oh.
recording feed, add new source. You now have two different sources. Well, you should only have one, which will be the OBS source. Click OK, choose whichever options you normally use, defaults are usually fine. You want highest bandwidth. It's running from internally inside your computer.
All
So
right.
you don't have to worry about using up your internet bandwidth or your network
Okay, I see. Huh. That's a bit, well, I guess we wanted a prototype, so I guess that would do the trick, except except what? So it just means that we use the source here. We wouldn't have the overlays here. I mean, I need to install that plugin. I don't have the NDI plugin installed. So let's install it. NDI OBS plugin. I remember trying it because I think it has the it's what's used to use your iPhone as a source. Okay. Go to download. Windows installer. Just once will do. Downloading binaries from the internet. Do not do this at home. Okay. Yes. Sounds good. Please. Let's. And I probably need to quit this. And runtime. And I'll put back some music on. And finish. And then finish. And let's restart OBS Studio. And we have NDI output settings, and we can have names. So we could say NDI screen source. The fact that we could also output the preview output, that's pretty cool. And so I suppose that we do something like start recording. Well, I suppose we need to set up settings for recording. And output to URL. Yeah, no, output to file. And file name. Okay, well, let's just apply and try and start recording. And it looks like it is recording. And then let's try all this live without a net. Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to because I won't have the NDI input unless I restart, presumably, unless I find some way to somehow refresh the plugins dynamically. But I think that's probably not going to be a thing. You can do this in digital audio workstations, but probably not in video tooling. No specific reason why you shouldn't be able to, but you can't. Okay, so but I get the picture. So we'd record also at potentially higher resolution that we're streaming at. If we click start streaming, then that would go into the NDI stream, and then here we wouldn't have to record, and we would be recording the raw source. In fact, we could also record the audio, not just the display capture. I suppose that the NDI output would also capture the audio. And so if we added like the microphone here, then we'd have all of the raw stuff recorded. And then the issue though is that it is kind of a prototypey thing. So, but let's make a note of it. NDI output. So we have the raw source, like desktop capture, desktop or game capture, and mic capture. Oh yeah, already a problem, because it means that voice would overlay with game audio. So for desktop things like I'm doing now, it would work, but not for audio things. Unless, no, maybe audio multitrack is actually more possible, I think, than yeah. I think, yeah, audio multitrack is definitely possible. So we need to test that. You know what? Let's test that. Stopping the recording. Someday it will stop the recording. Ah, okay, it stopped the recording. No, I don't know why I had to click twice, or maybe I didn't. It was just a weirdness. And so let's go back to settings and let's try a few things. Now, first let's get desktop audio, and that would be audio output capture, and it would be 7.8, I think, and why don't we see any audio here? Active audio sources only. Well, transition. I needed to select it. So let's see if the next track comes in. Yep, next track is coming in and we have sound. And then my microphone is on a different audio. It's not microphone. Where is it? I forget. Oh, it's PDIF. Because I do fancy digital stuff. And transition. Check 1, 2. Yeah. So, all right. And so in theory, in fact, with advanced audio properties, yeah, that's it. We could say that my microphone will go on track 1, and then the audio, in this case the music, or let's say the desktop audio, will go to track 2. I mean, I think. And then in output and recording, we could send the 2 audio tracks, except it seems like I can't. I don't know why. I think it thinks it's still recording or something. Let's restart it. And settings. I see. No. Okay, so these devices are deactivated, which is fine. Oh, but maybe is that part of the problem? Hold on. Advanced audio properties, blah, monitoring, on or off. The monitoring doesn't really matter, I don't think. Okay, we can remove 5, 6. It says active. There's something to do in the properties. No. Use device timestamps. I wonder whether that's the synchronization that we would want. Okay, let's see. These things are super tiny. really hard to see if they're checked or not, in fact. Stream is blah, output. So all of this is grayed out. Maybe because it... No, it's unclear why it's grayed out. It shouldn't be grayed out. I think it's grayed out because I'm streaming with Streamlabs OBS, and it's confused about who's streaming what, unless it's related to this. It is. Huh. Ah. Game of Limbo. Trying to go underneath, but look, I found the bug. When clicking main output, then it prevents you from changing your settings. So that's what was going on, and then I should be able to click. Oh, I'm not able to click apparently. Show. Oh, I am able to click this though. So it's just that I can't click this. I can, for streaming, I can select one of the audio tracks, so that's fine. By recording, apparently, I can't select the audio track. So I need to disable the encoder? No. I need to do standard. Ah, yeah, standard. I see. Yeah, that's right. I was in custom output FFmpeg, and I need to select standard, and then I can do 2 audio tracks. So then the question is it going to do them as 2 separate tracks, or is it going to mix the 2 tracks? And that's what we're going to find out now by saying apply and saying start recording. And now I'm recording, and then the music is playing, and then I'm stopping to record. And then I go check out the video folder. And try to sort it. Sort by date, and give me a better view. Details like this, yes. 3001, that must be the one. And I'll open with VLC. And that seems to be the thing, except that what? Except that I'm going to check the audio tracks, and there are 2 tracks. So I'll pause, I'll turn the music off so that we can check. Yeah, let's see. And now I'm recording, and then the music is playing, and then I'm stopping. Hey, I think it is working. And now I'm recording. Audio track 2. Yep. Okay, very good. So the consequence is that we can have raw video, and we can have desktop audio, and microphone audio. And I think that's enough to do good stuff recording wise. And then from the NDI output, we go to, we use the main output. And so it means that we could also possibly use the preview for something else. So we could get a little bit even fancier, taking OBS Studio. And I think maybe getting out of studio mode, then we have the preview here and the program here. So Hmm. Dun, dun, dun. This would be between scenes, so I would do a second scene, and then maybe have, let's say, what would I have? What would I want here? Possibly my overlays. So in which case, maybe I would reverse things as well. Maybe I would keep, because I have all my overlays here. And there is a studio mode here too. So I could create something where I have all of my overlays in one channel and then my raw output in the other. And then record the raw output here and then pass both to OBS Studio and then have that stream to Twitch. This way I get all of the fancy Twitch layer and chatty blah from OBS. That's also possible. So let's write this down somewhere. Prototype, main output. So there's two cases, right? So main output to Streamlabs OBS, and then have Streamlab OBS to Twitch. And then it is maybe better even would be to do on OBS Streamlabs, do raw source to preview output to NDI preview output, and then all overlays to NDI main output, and then have OBS, and then record only. Oh, actually, it would probably need to be the reverse. And then we'd also record this. Record raw plus multi-track audio. Of course, as soon as I start having a camera, then this is going to, well, I suppose I can send my camera in the overlay. But then I won't be able to record this separately, and there will be a problem if I want to include the camera somewhere. So yeah, this whole thing is a little bit brittle. I think there's another opportunity here to do a kind of a router that would do something similar, but in a more principled fashion. And I suppose that we probably want the router. I don't know where we want the router, but maybe I'll think about this in a second. So then we have OBS Studio stream to Twitch. That would be the idea. Okay, let's. We can't really test it. I mean, I might just restart the stream just to test this. But before I do, well, actually, I think I want to try the maybe better version. So what would be the maybe version? Yeah, right? I know, I want to test too. So the maybe better version would require me to have what? So I'm going to create a streaming tool scene here, and we'll call this screen. We call this raw, and we'll put this here, and I'm on it now. Oh no, I'm not on it because I need to transition to it, so I'll transition to it. And then I'll remove the overlays and whatnot, or at least I'll just mute them. Oh, you know what? I probably need to duplicate it first. And so I'll say, and this would be overlays. Okay. And so raw would only be the main screen. So all of these would be going. And so now I think on screen, there would be no more overlay when I transition. Then we don't see my screen anymore, and we can transition back to raw.